In Valorant, agents are divided into 4 different roles depending on what they bring to the team: Duelist, Initiator, Controller, and Sentinel. Now, as a new player, how do you know which role best suits your playstyle and what agents fall into them? Let's find out. Duelists are agents who excel at taking entry duels and putting themselves in chaotic positions. As a duelist, your main job on attack is to get on site, cause chaos, and potentially get a kill from an unsuspecting enemy. Duelist agents all have some type of ability to help them get onto site or pass a chokehold, such as Jet Smokes, Reyna Blinds, or Yoru TPs. Duelists are fast-acting agents that make quick decisions with their utility to help progress your team farther into the site. On defense, Duelist's main job is to hold aggressive angles or flank from behind. Duelist players need to have confidence, as a lot of the times you'll be the one to peek first and try to take those entry duels. If you aren't being aggressive and taking fights, you aren't doing your job as a duelist. If you like to be that confident, chaotic, fast-paced agent that leaves players confused, paranoid, and scared, then Duelist is the role for you. Now let's move on to Duelist's best friend, Initiators. Initiators are your support agents that gather information and help clear space for your team. Initiators have some of the most powerful utility in the game, so do not take them for granted. There are 2 main types of Initiators, and they play very differently. First up is the Recon Initiators, Fade and Sova. These agents excel at gathering location-based information for your team through different methods. Both Fade and Sova's main ability is recon-based. Sova with his recon dart that scans the area, and Fade with her haunt orb that reveals people. Being able to gather intel on where enemies are is one of the most powerful abilities in Valorant. Recon Initiator's main goal is to help duelists get on site and provide them with extra utility to help them clear angles, take duels, or plant the spike. Moving on to the Flex Initiators, Sky, Breach, and KO. These agents can provide utility for their team, but are also self-sufficient in being able to take their own duels and watch their own angles. All 3 of these Initiators have some sort of flash or blind to help the team get on site and clear angles. They also have some sort of support ability, such as Sky's heal, or an area deny ability, such as KO's Molly or Breach's Aftershock. Since these Initiators aren't focused on gathering intel as much as Fade or Sova, they have more flexibility in how they are played. Sky and KO can be makeshift duelists, taking entry frags in aggressive fights with being able to pop their flashes early. And Breach is able to play a sort of Sentinel role with his ability to stall enemies with his long-range abilities. If you like to be an aggressive support player who can also take matter into your own hands, then Initiator is the role for you. Moving on to Controllers. The Controllers are Viper, Omen, Brimstone, and Astra. Controllers are your smoke agents that block vision, splice up the battlefield, and lessen the amount of angles to hold. Each Controller is unique in how they play and provide utility. Controllers have some of the most important utilities, so being aggressive and taking those initial duels is something you want to avoid. Controllers are backline supports that use their smokes to help duelists and Initiators push angles or sights. Controllers also have an omnipresent effect, especially with Astra and Viper. Astra can place a smoke anywhere on the map at any position at any time, and Viper's smoke and wall are on a fuel bar and can be reactivated anywhere after a fuel recharge. These 2 agents don't even need to be near the site to have an impact, as their utility does enough to help out their team. The main thing that Astra and Viper rely on is timing, as their utility is extremely important and requires a recharge. Brimstone and Omen are more aggressive controllers with less of an omnipresent effect. These agents want to stick close to the rest of the team and provide utility for the whole group, such as Brimstone's Stim Beacon or Omen's Blind. Controllers also have some sort of area denial ability to stop pushes and catch enemies in bad positions, such as Viper's Molly, Astra's Suck, Brimstone's Molly, and Omen's Paranoia. If you like a more passive role where you can make an impact anywhere on the map, then Controller is the role for you. And finally, the Sentinels. Sage, Killjoy, Cypher, and Chamber. Sentinels are agents who excel at holding choke points and sights. All the Sentinels have some sort of deployable that allows them to stall movement, stun, or slow. Sentinel's job is to hold pushes as much as possible and stop flanks before they happen using utility. Sentinels are able to lock down a site on defense, making it much harder for the enemy to push through. Sentinels also help alleviate the stress of watching so many different angles, as your utility can help and will let you know if someone is near. Sentinels are not aggressive agents. They like to stay back and survive for as long as possible so all of their utility can still be active during the push. They are able to stall flanks while on attack and allow your team to confidently push a site without having to worry about their backs. If you like a more passive playstyle where you let your utility stall and slow enemies, then Sentinels are the perfect role for you. Those are all of the 4 main roles in Valorant in a brief overview of how they work. Now that you know what they do and how each role works, where do you think you see yourself in Valorant and what role you'll pick? Let us know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.